I'm Deep Mahaman and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hi, I'm Paul Machin for the Redmen TV, and even saw Liverpool collapse to West Ham United 3-1 at Upton Park. Sometimes I've got the best job in the world, but on days like this it's got to be up there with the worst. What a fucking shambles of a performance from Liverpool. You know, look, they were out of sight within 5 minutes of that game, and that's a joke. And at no point did I ever feel like Liverpool we're going to get back in that. We had the moment, we got the goal back. That should have been the springboard to drive things forward, and it wasn't. And to be fair, you know, we've been very critical of Sam Allardyce, and in particular his face and his voice. But often is the way he approaches football matches, and while they were in many respects a typical Sam Allardyce team, you know, the players they've added and the approach, they were far more committed to us. They absolutely dominated the midfield. I don't know what our midfield was meant to be doing. I think they're still missing. If they're probably still out on the park and no one's noticed. They'll probably turn the floodlights off, they'll shut up, and the midfield will still be there because no one will give a fuck. Like, look, I'm ever the eternal red optimist, but it's hard after performances like that. You've got to look at the positives. Thought Adam Lallana coming off the bench in the second half, was our outstanding player. He tried to make things happen. He tried to be direct. He tried to get into the box. Tried to make things happen, but it just never worked. It wasn't enough. And I've said on a couple of the post-match interviews, yeah, look, Luis Suarez, let's remind ourselves that even if he was still a Liverpool player, he'd be suspended, so stop fucking crying about the fact that he wasn't in that game, because he wouldn't have been there anyway. But what you need, and what Suarez brings in games like that, is that you get the balls in and around the box and he causes panic. And the players that we've got, Lallana tried his best to do that. The problem with the change in formation was Sterling's basically playing right wing back, and although he was involved in some of the better things we did in the second half, he needs to be closer to the goal. He needs to be getting more involved. And we ended that game with chasing a goal, and we still got 3 centre halves on the pitch. And although you could argue that you've got Moreno and Sterling pushed up, it just seems daft. You're going to make a substitution. I'd have probably nothing wrong with bringing Lambert on in theory, but I thought Barini was actually having a pretty decent game. He was still getting in there. He was actually holding the ball up. He was making runs in behind. He was making a nuisance of himself. And that, as soon as he went off the pitch, that stopped happening from the centre forwards. And you can see why Lambert and Balotellli maybe not a great fit together up front. People playing through balls to Lambert. Fucking point. What is the point? Yeah, look, the midfield were piss poor. The performance in general was piss poor. And we need to see a damn sight better from Liverpool. The only slim credit we've got there, the only slim positive we can take, is that the League Cup in the week, you've got a quick turnaround, so we don't have to worry about this game for too much. Hopefully we can go and get a result there. And of course the focus is going to shift to the derby next weekend as well. But you know, if I had to give a man of the match to Liverpool, I'd have to give it to Lallana. I thought you could maybe make a case of Balotellli, because he did okay and he set up the goal for Sterling. No one stood out. Moreno did all right. Manquillo got just annihilated by them and had to get taken off. Poor performance all round. I can't really afford to dwell on it. But if you want to, like us, you need to exercise the demons. We're going to be doing a final word show with all of my happy band of contributors here who all sat behind camera with fucking faces on them. We're going to do the final word show on the redmentv.com. Trust me, by the end of that, everyone in here and all you watching at home are going to feel 10 times better about that. I don't know how yet, but we're going to do it. So tune in for Ozzy's shaking his head, but he will. You will, Ozzy. So tune in for that. The redmentv.com. It's free for the month. Anyway, give the video a like. Don't forget to click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen as well. And we'll see you there. Ta-ra.
In the second half, although we set up better, we still were awful at the back, and we had no midfield. I don't know where they went. Were they on holiday? Were they in the crowd? No idea. The whole team was just a mess.